What's up, everybody? Welcome to Warfels Morphs. I'm Jeremy. Today, interesting video. We're going to be talking about different substrates, substrates I have used, and what substrate I use right now. So we're actually going to be giving the two carpets new substrate, and getting our hatchling rack all ready for the hatchlings we're going to be cutting here very, very shortly. So I'll give you a little look here at the girls. There's Xena. That's the one carpet we're changing her substrate on. Right now she's on Reptile Prime. And there's Lagatha, but she's on the same stuff. I'll touch base on Reptile Prime. I'll touch base on some of the other stuff that I've used. And I'll touch base with what I'm actually currently using. So let's get into it. Right, so the first bedding that I used to use all the time when I was first starting out. I would say probably a lot of beginner keepers probably use it because it's very easily accessible, at least at my local pet shop, is ZooMed's Forest Floor, which it's a cypress mulch bedding. I'll give you a look at that here. That's what it looks like. It's just it's just chipped up cypress. It's not bad bedding. It does hold moisture good. I know with the main reason I switched from it was when I would be feeding my animals, it would drop it, they're rodent on the mulch, and you would end up uh, having them ingest some of that mulch bedding, which it never affected them. But it was mentally my thing. I didn't like that fact that they were ingesting those. Some of those strands would get a little bit long there. I mean, you'd have them getting like pieces like yay big. That's probably about 3/4 of an inch going down. And I just didn't like that. Like I said, never affected them. And in nature, they're ingesting dirt and who knows what else. But I just didn't really like that fact. So I started looking for another bedding. And that's when I found Reptile Prime. And I'll show you that. This is Reptile Prime here. It's a ground up coconut substrate. Very finely ground up. Uh, Holds moisture really good. Keeps the odor down. And the other thing that was nice about it is it seemed like it was a little bit softer, a little bit less abrasive on the snakes. Um, I did like it. I mean, it's super absorbent. It kept the humidity I needed. But there again, one downfall with that is that if your snake dropped the rodent on it, it was ingesting some of the substrate, which there again didn't affect them, but mentally, just on my aspect, you don't really want them eating stuff that they don't need to be eating, I guess is the way I look at it. And I mean, it is a great substrate. Brian Barczyk definitely did some good stuff. I mean, here's the bag for it. I do keep it still as like a backup. Trying to figure out where the camera is here. I mean, it is a good substrate. I keep it as a backup here. And if I have a stupid moment where I don't think ahead and have what I use now on in stock, I go and just throw them on that temporarily, and uh, as soon as my normal substrate comes in, then I'll empty out the Reptile Prime, put the animal on what I'm using now. So let's get into what I'm using now. Right now, I'm using Freedom Breeder Coco Blox. Stupid camera. I love this substrate. This stuff is amazing. I've not had any issues with them ingesting any of the substrate. It does help keep odor down. Uh, and it keeps the humidity that I need. I use it in all the racks. Uh, as you saw, the carpets were on Reptile Prime. And I left them on that just mainly because half the time when they're eating, they are perched up in their perches. So it wasn't like a big ordeal that they were dropping their stuff into their food into the bedding. Um, but now it's time for a bedding change, so I thought, we're gonna get them switched over too. So we'll go over here. I'll show you how to get that block busted up into actual bedding. All right, what you're gonna want to do is cut the bag, the top of the bags open. We're gonna open up 2 bags because we're getting the hatchling tubs. It's probably 2 weeks early, but you're gonna get the hatchling tubs all ready and ready to rock and roll, and the substrate warmed up in them for when they're hatched and after they have their pre-lay shed. There is the label for the Coco Blox. Always pull those out. Kind of becomes a pain if you wait till after you break them up, because then you have to pour water in the bag, so it kind of isn't the cleanest way of getting them out. But I do like the label on these things. I had a really cool idea with that. There's that. Now, take some water. You just want to pour it all over in the bag. You basically pour it in and let it sit. And I do apologize if I get a little off frame there with these, just because I'm trying to look at it and pour the water and everything's is a little difficult. Try to get some there on the side. Now the main thing, this stuff is super absorbent. So basically, by pouring the water in, what's that doing is that coconut, since it's compressed in that bag, it's actually expanding right now. You can actually see this bag's already started to expand here a little bit. I might have to throw a little bit more water into this one, but we'll wait and see. Normally you let it sit for about 10, maybe 15 minutes max. If you need to, you add a little bit more water, but it'll probably be good. We'll come back in a couple minutes here and see what it looks like after it's expanded. All right, as you can see, they're expanded. I actually had to add a little bit more water to this one. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna slice this bag. It's kind of difficult one-handed. Pull that bag off. Just simply just crumbles right apart. That stuff is just nice. I love this stuff. It's nice, chunky. You don't really have to, I've never seen any of my snakes ingest it. I mean, the chunks are big enough to where it doesn't stick to the rodents. And all you do to get the stuff loosened up is just run your hands through it. It just breaks up like that. One normal size block. I think it's the 12 by 12 by 6 blocks. They do an awful. They fill up an awful lot of space. So depending on how many's in your collection, you may only need to get 1 block, maybe 2 blocks. I know normally I order about 3 blocks at a shot. So I'll get this other block broke up and we'll put it into the enclosures. See there, the bedding's all in. That stuff just looks nice. Look at those chunks. I mean, that's just nice bedding. It's nice, clean. Doesn't take a whole lot to fill it up. You don't really need to put a whole lot down. I just basically put like a small layer. I mean, I can just go like that and it's there. Yeah, you don't have to really put a whole lot down. It just kind of, the way it's chipped up there, it makes up a lot of volume. And there's the girls in their enclosure. Those Coco Blox just look so nice. So nice. Very nice looking substrate. All right, we'll go and we'll get some of the hatchling tubs ready. All right, let's get some of these hatchling tubs ready to rock and roll for the babies. All I do is I just take a couple scoops, maybe 3 tops, these hatchling tubs. Just spread it around. They really don't need much. Just basically that layer like that. Yeah, you can still see the bottom, but that allows them to, push that substrate around to get down onto the heat. That's basically all there is to it. I mean, there's really nothing to it. This Coco Blox stuff is just super nice substrate. I love it. I don't plan on switching. I don't see how you can really get anything much better than this. It's also water day, so on down here, change her water. That girl's just so beautiful. That's our TSK Exanthic Orange Dream Girl. We'll go back and I'll put all 3 substrates that I have here side by side, so that way everybody can see the comparison of them. Here they all are side by side. This is the Coco Blox. This is Reptile Prime. That's the Zoomeds Forest Floor. They're all good. I mean, some of the substrate kind of boils down to what's most available to you. I know Freedom Breeder with their Coco Blox, I do believe that they do free shipping still on any of the orders for the Coco Blox. It's really good stuff. I highly recommend it. I'll actually put a link down below for the substrate. And like I said, I mean, Reptile Prime, that stuff's good. I keep that as a backup. And the Forest Floor, I mean, I think a lot of the pet shops probably carry that. I know like Reptile Bark, a lot of people use, and it's just kind of all personal preference, what you like best, what you think looks best, but ultimately you have to go by what's best for the animal. And I think Coco Blox is the deal. Some people might be wondering why I'm being a little counteractive there and putting the bedding in with the in the hatchling racks when we don't even have any of the hatchlings hatched yet. That's just basically so that way the bedding can get warmed up to temperature. The tubs are all plugged in that way. Everything's up to temperature, and I don't have to worry about kind of sending the hatchlings into a little bit of shock temperature wise, or like higher humidity than what they really need. Um, Basically, after they hatch, they'll go into one of the tubs with no bedding, just with like a soaking wet paper towel substrate until they all have their first shed, and then they'll go into their individual tubs after that, which is where the bedding's all at. Um, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like button. Let a comment down below. Let me know what you guys use. Let me know what you think. If you want any little bit additional info on the substrates that I've used, any more information on the Coco Blox, which is what I'm using now. Like I said, that stuff's awesome. I highly recommend it. Another thing I didn't think of is as far as when you go to take out your water bowls and everything with the Reptile Prime and the Forest Floor, one thing I always ran into was I was always dribbling bedding on the floor and all that stuff with the Coco Blox. There's none of that issue. I mean, it's just chunky enough to where you can just rub your hand right underneath it. You get all of it in one swipe, and there's no little particles left. So it is a lot cleaner to work with too. So make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, so that way you're alerted next time we upload our next video, which should be Monday, Tuesday. I didn't really plan on this video, but kind of like a kid on Christmas here waiting for these clutches to hatch. So I had to be down here in the snake room and just thought, hey, let's do a video. So yeah, subscribe, hit that notification bell, like I said, let a comment, and catch you next time. Take it easy.